Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Chall, and today Chall chats on the WWE Show with, of course, my co-host Owen, just at the side of me there. Of course, we're back. We are here. We are live. And it is time to record another episode of the WWE Show, which is on the YouTube podcasts here on the Chall Chats YouTube channel. This is the next episode, episode 4 already of the WWE Show. Got a lot to get through. We're also predicting Elimination Chamber at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. Let's get straight into this. Owen, how are we doing this week?
Hey, not too bad, mate. Good week so far. Watched Raw and NXT live, which I don't usually do due to other stuff, but watched it live this week was a joy to watch. Going into what will be an exciting weekend with Smackdown, and literally only 7 or so hours later, good time for us at about 10:30. So, Elimination Chamber, which looks to be a really, really good card, and going off some of the stuff happening in Australia at the moment. The excitement there is brilliant, other than some reporters having a calling wrestling fake.
I saw the clip.
It's happened with both Grayson and Austin Theory now, so fun.
Someone said something about it being kayfabe, but you know what? Kayfabe or not, fair play to Austin Theory. I'm not trying to turn this into like some kind of wrestling work or anything like that, but that showed what Austin Theory can do as a face. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But if that was real, which it looks like it was very good kayfabe if it wasn't. But if that was real, fair bloody play to Austin Theory, because in media, you just don't do that in front of the people that are working their backsides off to make it, what it is today. And people are trying to make it the next level. Like the number one rule when you're doing wrestling media, you just don't do that.
Yeah.
You just don't do that in front of the wrestlers.
Yeah. It's like going to a movie star and saying, yeah, you're good, but it's fake though, right? Yeah.
Or it's just special effects.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not you, mate. It's like, that's the thing. Like, these guys work their asses. Oh, we talk about this all the time because that's what I mean. As a wrestling fan, you get this all the time. Like, even as a fan, like, I say sometimes, like, to my parent or my friends, I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Like, say I'm going to All In August, right? And so I've said I can't wait to go to All In August. Like, it's gonna be my first massive wrestling show. I cannot wait. And then someone goes, oh, it's fake though. Right? Why are you spending money on that? I was like, well, for a lot of people, it's an escape. A lot of people, it's like something to enjoy, and it's something I look forward to every week. And like, I mean, it's good to see that the people like us are backing them up and all that, because
people have been really on WWE's side over this, which I love.
Yeah, that's what I mean. WWE I mean, I'm happy to be in a community that does do that. Yes, there's bad things about this community sometimes. We've seen over the years with, especially now,
all different situations that we can't.
And the
really
tribalism and things like that, which
we don't want to go into all this.
If you're one of those that furiously defend a company, seriously, just enjoy wrestling. Like, we're at, in my opinion, a golden age of wrestling at the moment. You've got WWE who are firing at the moment.
AEW had moments.
Yeah. And I can tell that they're starting to build a massive, brilliant, expanded roster. They're starting to do big pay-per-views. They're starting, to sell 80,000 fans in your 6th year as a company? Brilliant. New Japan are building again, and we showed a couple of weeks ago, and they've got a show literally tomorrow morning, which I will be tuning into, which does involve a certain Nick Nemeth, otherwise known as Dolph Ziggler, obviously. He's going to be on a New Japan show for the first ever time. But I mean, golden age in wrestling, and even people like Rev Pro, like it's his first podcast since the Will Ospreay versus Michael Oku match. If you haven't seen that, find a way to watch it, because it's going to be up there as one of the best matches of the year. And to say that from a British wrestler, like an independent British promotion, it's insane. And
that match with Michael and Will Ospreay, Jesus Christ, that was one of the longest matches I have seen in my life, but it was one of the best professional wrestling matches I have seen in my life. I've seen the full match between Ospreay and what seems to be the next one in line to take over from Ospreay on the British scene. They rocked it. They absolutely rocked it. I think his name was Michael Oku, isn't it? Michael Oku,
yeah.
Michael
And
Oku and Will Ospreay. They just nailed it right on the money on that night.
And I'm just gonna say, like, some of the stuff they did in that match. My favorite part though was when Oku did the Sega Mega Drive, obviously a tribute to Curtis Chapman, or otherwise known as Mad Kurt, who was a former British Cruiserweight champion, unfortunately passed away last year. And like I say, to all his friends and family, we have you obviously, and I hope you're getting through it at the moment. And respect to Michael Oku, because I know they were really, really good friends. And and just to see him pay tribute to him, and like, I mean, the biggest moment of Oku's career in that match against Ospreay, and then to win obviously with a half crab, which is obviously his go-to, and his go-to. And like, I mean, just, I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years he's going to be the next big one, like Will Ospreay goes to Japan or even AEW or WWE, because Tony Khan was there at the week on Sunday at High Stakes.
Yeah, I saw Ospreay pay tribute to Tony Khan as he left as well. And, there was chants of "Thank you, Tony," which, if you're Tony Khan sat up there listening to "Thank you, Tony" in the UK, you must be absolutely loving that.
Yeah, and to have the respect. And I mean, the partnership, I wouldn't be surprised, partnership to AEW and Rev Pro will go stronger.
Yeah.
We saw with the likes of, Orange Cassidy was on the show last night.
That was a nice surprise.
Last night on Saturday, on Sunday. Sorry, he was in the 6-man scramble, the first match of the night. So
I think Orange Cassidy as well, and I think Darby Allin as well was at the Fulham match last week as well.
Yeah. Funny bit was, right, I don't know if you've seen it. Villa won, right? The Villa beat Fulham. I think you've probably seen it, Aaron.
Maybe.
Villa then, when they won, as their thing, when they won, they put a gif of them, of Prince Nana dancing to a Villa chant, and it's the best thing. And you got all these Villa fans just not knowing what the clue is, and you've got wrestling fans just laughing their asses off about it. Because obviously, if people don't know, Fulham is owned by Tony Khan, obviously. So,
oh man.
It's the funniest thing. Or Tony Khan's dad owns it, but he's the sporting director, I believe.
They played it brilliantly.
Yeah.
They played it spot on. Tell you what, another positive that happened for this podcast this week, we got a nice appreciated message from Brogan Finlay.
Oh, I saw that. Brilliant.
I messaged him to say, well done on your NXT debut on the house, on the live house shows on the previous week. And he was like, yo, man, appreciate it. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, obviously, Brogan Finlay, for those who don't know, obviously the son of Fit Finlay, who loves to fight, fourth generation superstar, one of the brightest, in my opinion, one of the brightest young talents in the Performance Center and the NXT roster in terms of the NXT next level, the next generation of NXT superstars. Like, he's got such a bright future from the stuff that I've seen. To get that message to say that I appreciate it, it means a lot to me, and it does mean a lot for this show as well. So Brogan Finlay's watching this. Shout out to you for the work you're doing on NXT right now, because like I said to you on the messages, mate, it'd be great to have you on the show as well if we can get something sorted with WWE in terms of an interview or anything like that. It'd be great to get Brogan Finlay on the show.
Yeah, brilliant. Like, I mean, to see someone like him working so hard, it was his first proper year, first going into shows this year, and to go from working, I know he worked in GCW last year, to then obviously now working just signed for Derby late last year and starting to go up. And I wouldn't be surprised, knowing from his dad and his brother, obviously his brother's in New Japan at the moment, I believe. David Finlay, the IWGP Global Champion at the moment. He will work fast, he will train fast, and I wouldn't be surprised if he'd be on NXT TV. And I would say in the next sort of 4, 5, 6 months, he's quality.
Yeah, 100 million%. Let's get straight into this. Then we've got a lot to pack through today. Smackdown from last week, Raw and NXT this week, previewing a bit of Smackdown this week as well. What's going to happen this week? Since several stars have already landed in Australia. What is going to happen, and also predicting, of course, the Elimination Chamber, the four matches for Elimination Chamber. Which, I love the fact that Triple H is going with quality over quantity on this particular pay-per-view. First of all, we'll talk more about that with the Chamber coming up. But let's start off then with last week's Smackdown. We'll try and get through as quick as we can, but we are going to go into them in a little bit of detail. First of all, AOP was going to see the Final Testament taking on the Pride, I guess they're known as. Seems like it's going to be 4-on-4 or 3-on-3 on SmackDown this week. But AOP dominating over two of the NXT level up kind of stars. Good to see AOP back in WWE. Akam and Razar with Paul Ellering. My favorite part of AOP is having Paul Ellering as manager. I think the stable with Cross and Scarlett is working quite nice at the moment. What are your thoughts on what AOP is doing at the moment? Because that was pretty much like a squash match. It's kind of what you see from Braun Strowman 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So what did you kind of think about the AOP kind of segment?
Yeah, it's really good. It's sort of, you can look, they're going back to what they were in NXT, and like, I mean, in NXT, they were a powerhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember their matches against DIY and some of the stuff, and I'm really good to see them back into WWE, and I think them being a stable with Karrion Kross could do really, really well, and I want to see them the next sort of few months. Obviously, this whole thing with the Pride, it's going to be, isn't it, the Lashley and obviously against B-Fab and the Pride, obviously, all together. But I would love to see them going for the tag titles in the next sort of 4 to 5 months. I think if DIY get the titles, I really want to see a repeat of their NXT rivalry. I think it main evented a show at one point. So Triple H knows what he's doing with them. It showed like tag team wrestling is going to be on a major rap, because you can tell from NXT, Triple H could book tag team wrestling. So,
yeah, well, obviously we'll talk about NXT from this week. Obviously, a team from the main roster coming down to really offer that experience to the NXT roster as well, with the teams coming up currently. Yeah, I don't know what you think, mate, but I just think strongly and more stronger that the Pride and Final Testament 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 will happen at WrestleMania on one of those nights.
100%. I think now it's starting to build more that rivalry. I think, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we see both of the big rivalries on SmackDown between factions. That's a good thing. I think with this year, WrestleMania starting an hour early.
Yeah.
WrestleMania will probably end up having a bit of a larger card. You've also got 2 nights to do it.
Yeah.
This is a good thing about WrestleMania, is that now you, instead of having what you did before, which is you had one night. Yes, some of them were very, very long nights, but now you probably have I would say 16 to 20 matches every week, for both nights. So you have the time to build rivalries, and bring them to a natural conclusion at the biggest show of the year. So it's a really, really, really good rivalry between both up at the moment, and that's what I mean. They're peaking at the right time.
Yeah. Would you do one faction war on one night and one on the other night?
Yeah, because I think having 2 on the same night might feel a bit samey.
Yeah. Which one would you do first? Would you put the Final Testament on the first night or the second night?
I don't know. I think it does. I don't think it particularly matters per se.
Yeah.
I think there'll both maybe be a stipulation in both, maybe 1 or 2. I don't know if both will have a stipulation, but I think one will definitely have a tornado tag, maybe, or a falls count anywhere, or an Extreme Rules one. Because I mean, I would love to see. You've got obviously with the Pride and Final Testament, you've obviously got Final Testament is a lot of powerhouse.
Yeah.
But with the Pride, you've got Montez Ford and Andre Dawkins, who are very high sort of flippy, and they're very, very good at doing what they're doing. And Bobby Lashley obviously is a brilliant powerhouse, and obviously I'd love to see what he can do. Obviously, in Elimination Chamber this year, in only a couple of days. So yeah, I think we could see a really good match from them, and then obviously with LWO versus Legado and Tasma, I think that'll be a really good match to do as well. So they've got so much to play with, and I'm really happy we've got so much variety in wrestling too now. So in WWE especially.
Yeah, absolutely. I think finishing off my WrestleMania 40 card prediction, ready for next week's extra show, is going to be very, very interesting indeed. Moving on to the next bit then. We'll not talk about the Good Brothers too much because that's coming up in NXT. But we'll focus on the AJ Styles part of this, the segment between Styles and Anderson sort of brewing up. Again, AJ Styles, what's the plan with AJ Styles? Because for me, I feel like for WrestleMania, I think AJ Styles could... I don't know. I mean, maybe it could be LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Could that be the big match that they're talking about with LA Knight? We were speaking about this off camera, weren't we? About LA Knight and about like what could he do with could they punish Logan Paul for wanting the Rock treatment, which we'll come on to in a bit, and put him in like a multi-man match for the US title because of like the great Intercontinental ladder match they had back in the day at 31 and 32. Could they do a 5-man, 6-man for the United States title in a ladder match? We know how much of a freak athlete Logan Paul is. Could they put LA Knight in there? But then again, LA Knight and AJ Styles have this little bit of feud behind, like, sort of below ground where one costs the other and the other costs the other, and it's, it feels like one of them. What's the plan here with AJ Styles for WrestleMania? Because we know the Good Brothers are now in NXT, doing what they do. I'm pretty sure they're going to do something at Stand and Deliver, maybe. But what about AJ Styles? Are we looking here at Styles v Knight?
I don't know. I think Elimination Chamber again is going to be, because I know obviously he's not in the AJ's not in the match, but he might be there to cost someone the match.
Maybe.
I think AJ and LA have been having this sort of build to this rivalry that's going on since the Royal Rumble. I can see it happening. But I think whatever happens, Styles will have a major singles match because he is a talent. And I think they're going to go with more of his Lone Wolf storyline he had in TNA just a few years ago before he left. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that sort of come in and him and LA Knight to maybe have a really good singles match at WrestleMania. Everyone thought that LA Knight would probably be up against Logan for that title, but I think they're going to go a different direction this time.
I reckon they're going to keep with the Paul Owens storyline until after WrestleMania's gone.
Because I thought if they were going to do LA Knight versus, if they were going to do LA versus Logan at WrestleMania, they would have done a crescendo to Logan, Paul, or Owens at the Chamber. Obviously, now they're both in the Chamber.
Yeah, I agree with that. Obviously, Smackdown, Raw, NXT is the past, the present, and the future. Speaking of the future, someone amazing signed on SmackDown officially this past week. Bron Breakker, one half of the NXT Tag Team Championships, champions, the Wolf Dogs. Hurt. For me, I think they're gonna lose the tag team titles at Stand and Deliver. I just have this feeling about it, especially with Bron Breakker signing on SmackDown now. I think they've got something planned here with Bron Breakker. I think there's something going on with Bron. For me, I think they're going to have something. I mean, maybe not for WrestleMania, because I think they'll just focus on him being at Stand and Deliver. Maybe they make like a guest appearance in the crowd like they sometimes do with new signings. But for me, I feel like Stand and Deliver is the plan for Bron Breakker. And then next year's WrestleMania, he's going to get a decent match, like a decent debut match. So we may not be looking at WrestleMania 40 here for Bron Breakker, but definitely 41.
Yeah, I think Bron's a talent. You can see him in NXT. And he's the past sort of year and a half, he's really built his character. Because he was a face for a lot of his first year run. He was all right. I just don't think he had that sort of character that was that edge. And this past year as a heel was really gave him that edge.
Yeah.
So I could not wait to see him being in NXT. Being out of NXT, going to SmackDown, and I don't know if the choice is to maybe build him solo. You could even see him maybe do the whole thing with Corbin again. Spear of Days. I don't know. It's either the Wolf Dogs or Spear of Days. They don't. I've heard everyone say one or the other. So, yeah. So I'll be interested to see what happens there. I think you can build him up. I think maybe with Corbin's popularity in France, tag team title shot, maybe.
Could they finally do? Have they finally found someone to retire Goldberg?
Oh yeah, go on. Goldberg with a weir up for one more match.
Goldberg versus Breaker, and Goldberg loses, he retires. Maybe Goldberg's retirement match of the next WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I think they're going to push him quite heavily because he's a star.
Yeah, Bron Breaker's just part of the future. We'll get on to more of the future with NXT and stuff like that because there's a North American champion right now who is sitting on the throne of the future, and he's proved it again this week. Next up then, Damage Control, Bayley, Dakota Kai. Seems like it's a very interesting situation. Again, obviously, we know what's happening. Io Sky versus Bayley, but I still know where this is going with Kai and Bayley. I just have this feeling that Kai's going to turn heel. She's going to stay heel, shall we say? I think she's kind of gone a bit. She's gone a bit tweener these past couple of weeks. I think they're just delaying the backstab until either this week or next week, I reckon, or maybe at Chamber. Maybe it's at Chamber.
Yeah, maybe because I'd say for Dakota Kai, this is obviously. I know she's from New Zealand, I believe, but Australia is probably closest to her, so she'll be there. I can see it happening maybe if they're going to do something for the Women's Championship. I mean, you've got 4 matches on the card, so you've obviously got the Grayson Waller effect. I think there's maybe an opportunity for maybe a segment there. I think doing it on a pay-per-view will do really well as well because you'll get. But then
again, is SmackDown this week in Australia?
No, it's not. It's a taped show.
Okay, that's fair. So it might either be at Elimination Chamber or it might be the week after. Maybe that might be the turn.
Well, I mean, after Chamber, you've probably got a month and a half build.
Yeah. So
you've got time. You've got about 6 weeks. So
to build Dakota Kai, but then surely Bayley's going to have some backup here, or do you think the story's going to be like the odds are stacked against a 4 on 1,
and then
Bayley overcomes the odds at WrestleMania?
And no, I think what happens is that the referee will go down, there'll be a beating, and then she'll get some help at Mania.
But who would come down though? Because Sasha Banks,
we've had a talk about this a few weeks ago.
We talked about this on past episodes for weeks because like Mercedes Moné's literally waiting for her AEW debut right now. They've done some of the first work already, from what I understand. I mean, Izzy Moreno is in the area in April, so they could do something with her as part of a segment. Maybe not a first sign that she's signed with the WWE, but I think something of some kind of work in terms of talking to an independent promotion that works with Izzy Moreno and says, "Look, we get to do this segment involving in just this one segment at WrestleMania." But who else? I mean, you could have Becky Lynch as part of the original 4 Horsewomen, maybe.
Yeah. Well. At this rate, Charlotte Flair could be back because
she's doing well on her rehab.
I was going
to say she's out for months. She's doing well.
She's got the Cena healing.
Yeah. Could you? Oh God, could you imagine if WWE pulled a massive U-turn and Banks just pulls out of nowhere for one last appearance? I know she's with AEW and stuff like that, but could they do like a potential clause in the deal to say, could you have one more WWE appearance?
It's quite costly. But the problem is, I've said Roxanne Perez for weeks, but it does look like it's going to be a heel turn in NXT. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk more about this on NXT, but I've just got this really big impression of a heel turn here.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard because
maybe Trish Stratus or Lita, because I know they had a bit of a feud with her, and maybe I know she grew up with Lita and things like that, so they could do something to help build that sort of bridge on screen. Maybe back.
What I want to see though, actually, is like I say, I want to see 4 Horsewomen. So that's a problem though, because at the moment one's going AEW, another one's injured. So
I think Moreno will get involved. I think Moreno will be involved in some
maybe Lynch and Moreno, maybe.
I think the last one, maybe Lita or Strata, someone who grew who barely grew up watching, that can just team together and sort of become friends again. I just think back to that feud involving Damage Control and the Legends and Lynch, and I just think something like that. Especially since last year's WrestleMania, it was Damage Control versus Lynch, Lita, and Stratus.
Oh, actually, there's another one I'm thinking of. This is if the rumors are true and she is heading to WWE. I know there was rumors that she's going to spend a couple of times spending time with this other promotion to start it off first, but maybe a one-time deal. Julia
is it?
Julia from Stardom.
Oh yeah.
She's leaving. The rumor
For a
is she's going
second, I
to.
thought when you said Julia, for a second I thought you meant, is there a one-time deal for Julia Hart from AEW?
No, but Julia, she's in Stardom. She's one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet.
Yeah.
There have been
It's
talks.
just different spelling. That's why I think I got thrown off by the spelling.
There are rumors she's going to WWE. They are saying that she's going to start working for Agawa's new promotion when he starts that up.
Ooh.
So I wouldn't be. Maybe they asked if she can do like, because I don't know for sure, but is Scott definitely sane? I think, but I think maybe Sky might have some history with her. Don't know 100% for sure, but
that would be a very good title feud. You know what? Not even a title feud. You don't even need to put a title on that feud, because I think if you give Bayley the title at WrestleMania, it would just be a huge pop, first of all. And then you can do Sky versus Julia in this feud, and you can sort of build a little sort of I don't know, like a temporary faction with Julia to help.
What I would say is Julia's probably what I would do is have it as a one-time deal, or say she'd come, and then once she spends this little bit of time with Agawa's new company, because she said it's a favor to start it off. If that's what I've been hearing. And then once that's finished, once she's thought it's all right, then she comes to WWE, and then that's her first rivalry.
I think so. I think hopefully we've nailed our booking on the cards here. Hopefully we've nailed it right on the card here. We might do something at some point down the line, like an extra show about like how would book WWE in the calendar year of 2024 or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, that's something we might do actually. We'll go through every single superstar on the roster and think, what can we do with them this year? And what would we do with them this year? In fact, to be fair, it might be too much to pack into one video. We might have to do like separate videos talking about.
It's a bit like those Wrestle Talk videos, because they do like a free word thing.
Yeah,
like every year. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
that'll be fun to do. Obviously, we've had some elimination qualifiers. Obviously, the women's chamber is complete. We have the full chamber. Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Naomi and Tiffany Stratton, who qualified on SmackDown last week, and of course Raquel Rodriguez. We'll talk more about who qualified on Raw as the surprise. We'll talk more about the Elimination Chamber, but I mean, Naomi and Stratton, do you think that was the right decision?
Yeah. Stratton's, my opinion, one of the best future women's, future woman who's going to go and do stuff here. Yeah, she's going to be amazing. Naomi, I think she's going to be back. She's got a lot to answer for. Well, I'm a little bit annoyed about is that they've changed Stratton's theme.
Yeah, you know what? I felt the old Stratton theme was personally better. I think it's going to take me some time to get used to Stratton's new theme.
Yeah.
Did they change Naomi's as well?
Yeah. They've got rid of Feel the Go, and it's a bit more similar to what she had in TNA.
Which I think might be a smart decision. I think it gives the vibes of Feel the Glow, but I think it might be a smart decision, this one.
Yeah, because it's sort of, because a TNA theme was like, at the start, it was TRINRTY or something. It was like they were saying the name of Trinity. I think now they're doing it as Naomi, then like sort of a similar one to her theme. What I do like about TV's new theme, I do love the start of it when it's gone, it's Tiffy time. I would have rather if they had that and then went to the original song. I know they also changed her Tron as well, because now it was originally like a bit of a Barbie theme. I don't know if it's because of copyright.
Yeah.
And maybe because obviously Dobie, when she's on SmackDown, she's on Fox, one of the biggest on the TV networks in America. So that might be a reason why. But she's brilliant. Her aura as a wrestler is brilliant. Since she won that, the difference between when she won the NXT title at Battleground in May to when she's to now, where she's her promo skills have gone from here to here.
Yeah, it's got from a completely different grade.
Yeah, one of the best. and she's just going to get better and better.
Yeah, she's still young as well. She's got loads of time to keep developing and reaching that, I wouldn't say peak, but potential ability.
Yeah, and considering before she came to Derby, she had no wrestling experience.
That's amazing.
That's insane. Like
it's. I know she'll have been a fan of the industry and things like that, like we all are. All those who respect the industry are fans of the industry, in my opinion. You might not even been a fan to have loved the industry. You might just love it for the sake of loving it. And I respect that. But the fact that Stratton has had no wrestling experience going into this, and she walked straight in and she just delivered week in, week out, is just amazing.
Yeah. I mean, Derby at the moment have a track record of doing it. So
yeah.
Bringing these talents from next in line, the NIL talents, and bringing them into WWE. Like Tiffany, I don't think was the next in line talent, but she was one of the young ones. She's someone who's just come in of recent.
Yeah.
Obafemi, obviously, who we're going to talk about a bit later because he's insane.
The future. If I had the opportunity, because I have I would love to be a manager in wrestling. If I was to be in wrestling, if I went into the industry, I would love to be a manager. And someone who I would always love to have managed is Obafemi.
Yeah.
Because we could do some sick stuff promo wise together. So Obafemi, if you need a manager, just call me.
Yeah. He's always amazing. We'll talk about it later. But yeah. Knocking out the park, Tiffany, and she won't win on Saturday. I keep saying Sunday accidentally when
I think she'll be the workhorse of the chamber, but she just won't claim the prize.
I think she'll start off the chamber,
and I think she'll get to the final two as well.
Yeah,
I think we're going to have a final personally, and we're going to we're skipping towards the predictions. We'll go through this in a second anyway. Well, later in the show anyway. In my head, the prediction has been Lynch, Stratton, Morgan, the final three. Morgan or Lynch goes out in third place.
Yeah.
And the other one of those two, who goes on to face Rhea at WrestleMania, beats Stratton in the final two.
Yeah.
I think that'd be much better, because they could have just done it straightforward as the two that are most likely to face Rhea in the final two. They don't have to do it as straightforward as that. They could literally eliminate one of them and have someone close to being eliminated by Stratton, and then have the workhorse against the one who's probably going to win it.
Yeah, because I think Tiffany has they could even do Tiffany versus Rhea, because she's brilliant, Tiffany. So,
but the problem is they've built it up to be Rhea versus Becky, haven't they?
Yeah.
Which don't get me wrong. It's great for Becky Lynch, chance to win another championship and be the one to dethrone Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
But I've got a sneaky suspicion about what they're planning here. I think it's going to be Rhea versus Becky at this year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
They're going to have Rhea retain, and Rhea will be champion for another year. And I think Liv Morgan will dethrone her at WrestleMania 41.
Yeah, I think they'll make Rhea the what they call it, longest reigning.
Yeah, for me, I think Rhea's going to beat Becky at WrestleMania. For me, Becky's going to win the chamber, and I think Rhea will beat Becky at Mania. And then this whole Liv Morgan revenge tour will go on throughout the entire calendar year. She will win next year's Rumble, in my personal opinion, unless anything happens injury-wise. I think Liv will win the Rumble next year, and she will face Rhea at WrestleMania. And she'll win as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, then, we had a bit of a backstage segment involving Drew McIntyre and LA Knight. And I will say this straight off the bat: if McIntyre was not in this chamber, it would be McIntyre versus LA Knight at Chamber if it was me booking it. In my personal opinion. But Drew is in the chamber. Maybe this is a potential title feud after Mania if Drew wins at WrestleMania. Because for me, I think, again, I'll just say it straight off the bat, I think Drew's my prediction to win the chamber, which we'll talk about. But I don't know, maybe a post-WrestleMania title feud on the cards here involving LA Knight.
Yeah, I think they'll keep him in that world title picture now. I think at the moment, he's too popular to be in that US title picture. I think big match against AJ Styles, I think he wins if you're going to do that.
I think so.
And then you do a world title feud between him and Drew, because I think he gets whatever, if it's Raw or SmackDown, where that world title is going to be. it's going to
Well,
be there.
I think if LA Knight, I think after WrestleMania they're going to do some kind of superstar shake-up or some kind of draft, and I think LA Knight will go to Raw.
Yeah. Well, it depends because they might put Cody on Raw if he's the world champion, and then they might move the title to SmackDown. Because you've also got to remember they will probably want Cody on Raw, considering it's going to Netflix.
Yeah, probably.
You got to think it a little. Yeah, that's what I mean. I know we like to talk about it from a story perspective, but sometimes you've got to go from the business sense. And
yeah, it's like that balance, isn't it? You got to balance like what you want, but also what you need from a business perspective, and what's best for your product as well. What's going to get you hits on your product?
Yeah, 100%.
Right then, one of my favorite segments from last week's SmackDown. Take a seat, R-Truth. The way he screwed Dominic Mysterio. I said to you, Owen, I said to everyone last week, they're building towards a fire promo involving R-Truth, The Miz, and Judgment Day. I think Miz will be hot on the mic as always, but I think they're going to build towards a proper, like pipe bomb fire promo from R-Truth on Raw or SmackDown, whatever. I think they're building towards an R-Truth promo, and the way he just took a seat in front of Dominic Mysterio, to me, that is them building towards that one promo that's going to lead into WrestleMania that R-Truth needs. I think R-Truth needs that one promo where he's not funny, he just becomes dead serious. Bit of comedy in there, few he did not say that. I didn't know that was PG.
One of those, yeah.
Promo. But he'll have a dead serious fire promo at some point before Mania, sure, if they're booking it right, surely. And we are leading towards Judgment Day versus Awesome Truth at Mania.
Oh, 100%. I can't wait for it. It's going to be, it's going to be a great match.
And the thing is, as well, I'm thinking R-Truth's going to win the titles as well.
Yeah. We'll give him one swan song. I mean, the guy's like, was he? I don't know. Is he 50 now?
Something like that, yeah. 40s, 50s.
Like, to be that long of a stalwart for WWE and
Hall of Fame bound, 100%.
Also,
could be a two-time Hall of Famer, to be fair, because if Awesome Truth have a long title run, and the Miz is already a bona fide Hall of Famer as well, you could have two-time Hall of Famers.
To have a torn ACL at what age he is now, and to come back with that, one of the best. Oh my God, he's one of the best. And to have him come back with one more. And also, how refreshing is it to see 2 years in a row where the tag title match most likely be at WrestleMania is one people are begging to see.
Yeah, I think the Usos versus Zayn and Owens last year was just lived up to the hype. And the way they're pushing Judgment Day's hate on R-Truth and the hate towards Judgment Day for it. We know that Rhea's going to be busy at Mania anyway. Balor and Priest will have their tag match. We don't know if Priest will cash in at Mania, but he probably might fail or he won't. We know Dominic's probably not going to have a match at WrestleMania this year. I think, I think they're going to lose the gold, and I think they're going to build towards a Dominic Mysterio face move maybe at WrestleMania next year. I think this next calendar year will be the year.
I don't think it'll be a Dom face turn. Is more. I think it'll be a Priest face turn.
You know what? Just no.
Because
for me, the reason why I say Dominic face turn is because I think that they're going to slowly do it one by one. So Dominic Mysterio face turn. Then the next in line is Rhea. Then you're going to have JD and Finn, who are going to be brothers for life. And it's like that whole storyline of, come on, Priest, you are with us, right? And Priest finally makes the turn.
The problem is for Dom, right, is that my prediction is Ray's got one more year.
Right.
WrestleMania 41, hair versus mask.
Ooh,
if he wants to do it. If Ray wants to do it, I'm not saying do it. I mean, if he wants to do it, and then that's the way to pass on the torch. If Dom maybe wants to wear a mask as well, do maybe that, but you never know.
I don't know. For me personally, if Ray's got if next WrestleMania is Ray's last one, I would rather it be Balor and Priest versus the Mysterios. I would
Maybe,
rather
yeah.
I would rather it be that. That's why I think the Mysterio face turn needs to happen first. Not straight away, but close towards next year's WrestleMania. Keep building that heel up first. But then slowly, maybe a quarter of the way through the year, really start to, twist the tide on Mysterio and him become like the whipping dog of the Judgment Day, the one who takes all the beatings for the losses, etc., and really build that relationship up between Dom and the fans again. And I think for me, if it's going to be Ray's last year next year and Ray's last WrestleMania next year, it should be, in my opinion, the Mysterios versus Judgment Day in a tag team street fight or a tag team cage match or something, some kind of stipulation or gimmick. So I would rather it be the Mysterios together for Ray's last WrestleMania rather than apart, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think it'd be very much either, if they're going to do it one-on-one, Mysterio versus Mysterio for his last one, it would be bittersweet because it could either be heartbreaking for Ray or it could be bittersweet for Ray because he'd either win on a high and have his son not be passed the torch or lose passing the torch, which for me doesn't feel right. I think it much feels better having the Mysterios together next WrestleMania against the Priests and Ray retire. If Ray's going to retire at next year's WrestleMania, have him win with his son against Balor and Priest, and then you do the moment of passing the torch on, and then the Raw after WrestleMania, Priest does the face turn on Balor, and then you have a year long in 2025 going into 2026. You have a year long Priest Balor feud. I think for me, that's the way I would book it.
Yeah, maybe it's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know how you would book it, but
yeah, but like I say, I think they might go Dom Ray because I think Ray. It depends what Ray wants to do because Ray might go, I want to put my son over on my last night. So yeah,
it could be either way.
Yeah.
Obviously, the men's Elimination Chamber match, we're going to come on to it later, but obviously Kevin Owens and Logan Paul both qualified for that. Again, right decision.
Yeah, 100%. Logan's going to be insane. I just want to see him jump off the chamber again. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I think when I looked at the opponents for I know I said on the last one, I think that I would have put Miz and Mysterio in there and have Paul and Owens as a separate match for the US title, but I think now they're saving that for Mania. When I think back on it, and you know what, if you include that feud into the chamber match, you're putting an extra bit of fuel on the fire, aren't you? So you're still doing it the right way anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. You might even have them start it. So
that would be really good. That'd be a great way to start the chamber. Paul and Owens one-on-one, and maybe you get your first elimination before the next person comes out. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe you could do a shock. Maybe you could do Kevin Owens eliminating Logan Paul first, and then that builds the match for Mania.
Yeah, and then I would see that happen, and then Ben Paul getting angry at it, attacks him, maybe puts him through a pod or something like that,
and forces Kevin Owens to get eliminated.
Yeah,
that would be good. We're booking strong here. We might as well start our own wrestling company at this rate. Yeah. The highlight of SmackDown last week was The Rock and the Bloodline with that epic heel promo. The Rock absolutely made the right decision turning heel. It was, when you look back over the clips of the old Rock, the Nation of Domination Rock and the Hollywood Rock, it kind of gave me a vibe of both. People talk about like the old Hollywood Rock.
It's more corporate. It's like corporate Hollywood Rock.
Yeah, but not many people have said this, but it kind of gave me like young heel vibes of what he did in the Nation of Domination as well back in the early 90s. For me, it just kind of felt like the old early heel Rock as well, incorporated with Hollywood to create this corporate final boss level. And I think me and you know exactly where this is going here. Cody's going to win at Mania, and it's going to be Roman becoming the assistant to the real tribal chief here.
Yeah, and you could even build that to SummerSlam.
I think you have a Rock versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, and then you have a chapter. Yeah, you know what? I've been thinking about this, because you can have 3 chapters, can't you? You can have Rock versus Roman, Chapter 1 SummerSlam, Chapter 2 either Survivor Series or Royal Rumble, and then you have Chapter 3 next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah, maybe do it as like a a tribal combat match.
Yeah, I don't know whether it main events night 1 or 2. For me, I think they're going to have the Royal Rumble winner versus the championship match. Oh, you know what? Actually, you know what? Thinking about it, WrestleMania 41 could be the first WrestleMania in, I would say, a long, long time where a title match doesn't main event one of the nights.
Yeah, I think the last time, like main event in night 2, for example, let's just say,
Yeah,
because officially night 2 was the official Mania. Because I know
because they could do.
WrestleMania 36 night 1 was a Boneyard match, the Boneyard.
Yeah.
But what I mean by like the main event, like obviously both were main events, but main event 2 was going to be the main event of the original from 35 downwards. But the last time we had that, if I go 33 was a non-title match, main event.
Yeah.
That was Reigns versus Undertaker. 34 was a title match. 32 was a title match. 31. 28 was the last one after that. That was Cena Rock.
Yeah, and you know what? It makes sense that was Cena versus Rock as well. The last
Once in a lifetime that became twice in a lifetime.
Yeah, it's, you know what? It would just make sense if The Rock does a non-title match for Roman at Mania. But again, like I said, I think it could be a 3-chapter thing throughout the year. I think it could be a SummerSlam Chapter 1, Survivor Series or Royal Rumble as Chapter 2, and then WrestleMania as number 3. And then you have probably the World Heavyweight Title match main event in night 1. It depends where they are at that point. But I think that the Rock Reigns main event's at least one of those nights, definitely.
Yeah.
But the promo itself, Jesus Christ, The Rock went fully for it.
Yeah, with the old Versace, I think it was a Versace sort of top thing. I don't know what it was. But yeah, doing his promo, like also in all, there's like pretending like look at the people and then saying have set the record for like the most amount of people from a trailer. I don't know what it was, but classic Rock doing what the bloodline is cooking, which is a good little segment. And
I thought that was good.
Yeah. And then, I mean, the building to WrestleMania matches now, and I'm, for one, for the bloodline, cannot wait. I just want to see Solo in a WrestleMania match because we've got everything else sorted.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I don't think Solo's going to have a match this year's WrestleMania. I think it's going to be part of that main event this year. And then he has like a match at next year's WrestleMania. What I want to do, though, is use this moment to go into character and do a bit of a promo on The Rock here. Because he's a heel. He was wearing what you say, like a gold Versace jacket,
like a Versace, I think it was, like a shirt, like a little.
Do you know what I want him to do with that gold Versace jacket?
What?
I want him to turn it sideways and stick it straight up his crybaby candy ass.
I love that. I love though that like he's like going like, what are you talking about? Like, it's best for business if we do this at Mania. Because that's the thing. It's good, though, because it shows that, like, sort of adding a bit of sort of the business side to it and, like, his role as board member, because he's thinking, like, in Kayfabe's mind that if we do The Rock versus Roman Reigns, that's going to make more money. And Cody's the one in the way.
Yeah.
They're going to make sure that he can't compete so they can do that match.
Yeah, him standing there looking like a cross between a tribal Vin Diesel and a strip club manager.
Tribal Vin Diesel. Oh, I love Vin Diesel. I love that.
I'm going to clip these bits up. I'm going to clip these bits up and use them as part of my promo. Oh man, this is going to be brilliant.
That was a great Smackdown, though. Like
the Rock versus Chall at WrestleMania 42.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I get involved. I hit the choke on The Rock going into. Yeah,
I'll send this off to WWE and be like, "There you go. There's your next WrestleMania." Yeah. Next time, when we unleash this podcast and when we unleash the clips, etc., the next time WWE comes to Sheffield and stuff like that, I'm probably going to get like an email or something like that in the next like few months, something like that, and say, "Ty, you know that promo with The Rock? You know he's going to be in Sheffield, right?" And I'm like, book me a flight.
Yeah.
Book me a ticket.
Yeah.
But no, great. It was a great Smackdown though, wasn't it?
Oh, 100%. Loved it. I mean, it's a really good build up to Elimination Chamber. I know they obviously filmed another one, which is going to be out tomorrow, obviously. They taped another episode due to all of them being obviously in Australia. So be interested to see how that completes the build. And then obviously after that we had a bit of break. Then obviously Raw was live. I think it was. Yeah, it was
that
live.
was a good Raw. That was a good Raw.
Yeah. And again, it was live for me for once, so it was good.
Yeah, it was brilliant. So first off, then to start off Raw. Well, the first segment I want to talk about from Raw, Chad Gable beating Ivar. I've got a theory here about Chad Gable. You know what? This is one of the matches on my WrestleMania card. And you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this while we're recording because I finally found a plan for Gunter at WrestleMania this year. Gunter versus Chad Gable Intercontinental Championship. I think they're going to do that because it's looking like they're going to do something with Jay. We'll talk about that in a bit. But War of the UCs. But Chad Gable versus Ivar. That was a good match. And you know what? I think they're building towards Gable Gunter.
100%. And I would even do a 2 out of 3 falls match.
That would be brilliant. That would be a fantastic match.
Because that's gonna be like one of your pure wrestling matches. Like,
and I swear I saw something recently that said that Gable beat Gunter by disqualification on one of the Raws or one of the shows.
A live event, yeah. It was at a live event.
That's the second time that's happened now.
Yeah,
that's the second time. I swear that's the second time that's happened. That he's beaten him by disqualification or something that doesn't hand in the title.
Count out. I think it was a few weeks during that sort of feud they had. Wouldn't be surprised. Want to see him, and I would love to see him win because
I think that just makes it even better for a match at WrestleMania because that's twice now he's won the match but not won the title.
Yeah, 100%.
That's got to happen now. Yeah, exactly. Third time's the charm. It's got to happen now, surely.
100%. I want to see it happen. I think he's brilliant. I mean, Chad Gable's done so good with his character recently, and I want to see a more serious side of him. And if we can see him win the title and sort of become a workhorse champion, defend it every sort of few weeks or so, I'd be completely happy with that.
Yeah, Chad Gable deserves it. You know, nothing against Gunter. We're going to apply as soon as the match is done at WrestleMania, and if Gable wins the title and that, we're all just going to stand up and applaud Gunter's title run and things like that because he held the title for he's the longest reigning champion of all time, and I don't think that's going to be beaten for a very, very long time. So we'll all applaud Gunter 100% if he loses that match at Mania. But like, if anyone deserves the title right now, in terms of the next person, it's Chad Gable for what he did with American Alpha with Jason Jordan, for what he did in his singles run, for what he even did was bloody Shorty G.
Don't remind me about Shorty G.
Looking like a B-Tech rapper from Wild 'N Out on MTV. Like, as Shorty G, he has this, something about Chad Gable just. I don't know. He just deserves this so much. He deserves this so much. Even when he was doing the work as Shorty G, there was something about him that just made me think there's better around the corner for him. And there was better around the corner for him because the Alpha Academy came along. Otis was on his singles run, had the whole love affair storyline and the Thunderdome era with Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and Dolph Ziggler, a.k.a. Nick Nemeth. Otis was needing something. I don't know what you thought at the time, but I thought Otis was definitely needing something.
Yeah,
I think the decision to pair them together and then put Maxine in there and then Tozawa with the Truffle Shuffle, I think was an absolutely brilliant plan.
Because I mean, I loved Otis's. Like, the thing is, Otis did really well to start off with the whole Mandy Rose angle. I think they played that off brilliantly to start off with.
Yeah,
I just think with COVID, then they put the Money in the Bank on him, which was quite surprising. I think
that was a missed opportunity. I would have liked to.
I think they also put on with not much known to do with him. They didn't know really what to do with him.
Yeah, who cost him the Money in the Bank? I can't remember.
Put in?
Who cost him the Money in the Bank in terms of when he cashed it in? I can't remember.
He lost it in a match.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, he lost it to the Miz after is it Tucker?
Oh. Yeah, because they just cashed it in, didn't he? When Bobby Lashley
they didn't even do anything else because Tucker didn't do anything, and then he got released. So
yeah, and I think the Miz cashed it in and then won the WWE title. I think it was TLC or Rumble or something like that.
It was Chamber.
Yeah, against Bobby Lashley. I think it was, wasn't
it? Yeah. So Lashley cost cost McIntyre the title because he came in afterwards.
Yeah.
Which and then Miz cashed in. But then the thing was that there was a deal that he would cash in if Bobby Lashley attacks him after the match, and then Lashley gets a title shot, and then Lashley won it like 2 weeks later on Raw, and then he had that.
And then he had Lashley versus
McIntyre. He had Lashley, Miz. Miz lost the title, then McIntyre won it. McIntyre Lashley feud until I think Hell in a Cell that year.
Yeah.
And then obviously went on to feud, and then obviously lost the title to Big E. So
yeah, I'm glad to see Big E's doing well as well. I thought that whole what his role in the press conference and him kind of being like the peacekeeper in between in between CM Punk and Cole and things like that was just brilliant. It was just brilliant to see. Right, the interview with Sami Zayn backstage. Again, is this part of our theory here? Are we still thinking triple threat at Mania?
Yeah, they're gonna weasel away into him. They know what they're doing.
You know what? Part of me thinks that, you know what, again, this is going to be me stepping into booking mode rather than promo mode or character mode. And this is not trying to get on with the WWE. But my theory is, and it kind of links to what we were saying weeks ago about this whole triple threat idea. All these interviews with Zayn and that, McIntyre wins the chamber. He puts, he has a promo with Zayn. Cocky and arrogant, he can do this, he can do that, he's having the match, you're not Sami Zayn. Adam Pearce comes out, says if Zayn can beat you, he's in and makes it a triple threat, and then you get this 1.5-month build of Zayn, Rollins, McIntyre.
100%.
Do you think that's what's going to happen?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a really good idea.
Have we just guessed it to an absolute T? If this happens now, and we've guessed it a month in advance, how smart are we?
Or they've just taken it from us and then we want our royalty.
Yeah, we put a fee on our ideas. But no, the whole Zayn thing, what they're doing at the moment, what are you thinking about that? Because part of me feels like, oh, have they got a plan for Sami Zayn here? Part of me thinks they've got a plan with Sami Zayn here.
It's exactly like his NXT in 2015, I think it was. 2014-15.
Yeah,
where he
won the title.
Yeah, we couldn't win the title. He was getting costed. Fatal 4-way, NXT Fatal 4-way, and then he put his NXT career on the line against Neville.
Oh God, yeah, Adrian Neville.
Yeah, and then obviously now known as Pac.
Yeah, the man that Gravity forgot.
Yep. And then Owens at the end obviously powerbombed him, and he lost the title only about 2 months later. Great match. If you haven't watched any of NXT Sami Zayn, go watch it. It's insane.
It was brilliant. The way that he built that pop to what it is now because of NXT, and it built up to what it was because of NXT. And you know, we saw that Kevin Owens heel turn. I remember clear as day as a 14-year-old kid, 15-year-old kid, watching that Kevin Owens heel turn at the end of that match when Sami Zayn won the NXT Championship, and him getting helped to the back by Kevin Owens, and then that slam on the ramp. And then there was like, in that moment, when you look back on it, it was like a feud has started.
Yeah.
A feud for generations has started in that very moment of slamming their head on the ramp.
Yeah. For you, it was Zayn and Owens, and for me, it was Ciampa and Gargano.
Yeah.
So,
obviously, yours was much later, wasn't it?
Yeah, like I said, I'm a bit younger, so I NXT and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, I sort of went back and watched it, but Gargano and Ciampa, I was watching WWE quite regularly at the time, and I sort of didn't have the network, so I was sort of going through Twitter and that for Netflix takeover clips and everything.
Yeah.
And just to see, like I say, Gargano is my favorite, and I love Ciampa because of DIY, and then just to see him cost him, obviously, as a little kid, I was so devastated. And
I think it was one of the first recent examples, or one of the first kind of modern year examples of never trust the copyright logo.
Yeah. Triple H loves doing that, like, all the time. So
there's no like, as soon as it's like War Games, for example. As soon as I saw the copyright logo, I thought, no, we're not done here. Something's going to happen. Someone's going to either return or debut. And then, but I still didn't expect CM Punk. You know, I'll put this out there right now. I expected something to happen when the copyright logo came out, but I did not expect CM Punk, after all the talk over the past couple of days beforehand, that he wasn't coming back. They really twisted it. Yeah. They really twisted it.
Well, it came out today that it was a couple of days, because Randy Orton was told the day of the show. He was literally told, He was asked, Triple H went to him and said, "Oh, just this. Oh, and Punk's coming back at the end of the show." So, yeah.
And you know what? Fair play to Orton because he's treated like a true professional.
Yeah, because I think he even said Orton 10, 15 years ago would have thrown a fit. I think he said something like that. I don't know if that's correct, but I think he said something like that. I know he had an interview. Like, I haven't seen the full interview yet, but I know he said something. I've seen some excerpts from it and things. But
you know what? I know Punk stars his enemies in the roster and stuff like that, but there's definitely some new bridges being built there and stuff like that. And I think, there are reports that he's planning on some kind of commentary role potentially. So I would love to see CM Punk do something commentary wise until he gets back to full fitness.
Oh, 100%. I love him. Such a good person. But yeah, I was going to say, I know we were talking about, obviously, Raw and things. Another one was at the start of the show when McIntyre beat Cody Rhodes. Only second time he's been pinned since...
the famous spike.
Since the spike. And it was the exact same finish. Spike,
you know what? I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to do that at this year's WrestleMania, and Rhodes will kick out at 2.
Someone's put that on Twitter, by the way. Someone's edited it so he kicks out at 2.5. It's like really good editing as well. But yeah,
you know what?
Just
change the WrestleMania ring to 40's WrestleMania ring, and I generally think that'll be the gift that happens in real life.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I mean, McIntyre, another massive win for him. I think he's, like you say, he's going to go win on the Chamber. Not really much we said. Brilliant match as well. And then if we go on to the next big one, which was Raquel Rodriguez back, and she's in the Chamber.
Yeah, she took the final spot in the Women's Chamber, and you know what? They repeated the Santino spot from from Alberto Del Rio in WrestleMania and the WrestleMania Royal Rumble match. I swear, well, to get into WrestleMania, they repeated that same spot. And look, don't get me wrong, Rodriguez is a fantastic athlete. She's a brilliant powerhouse in the female division. I think she'll do great work in the Chamber, but for me, I think they should have gone with Chelsea Green. But you know what? It actually made her character work. Yeah.
Also, want to say quick to Raquel Rodriguez. She's obviously just come back. She spent a few months off due to, I don't know exactly what the issue was. I know it was a medical issue. She's talked about it quite well. Obviously, I think she's saying that there was a skin cell issue. And I hope she's getting better, obviously, and I hope she continues to get better. And can't wait to see her again, because like I say, I love Raquel Rodriguez. I think her finishers, I think she's brilliant as a wrestler. And I think it's going to be a really good asset in this Chamber match. So congrats to her, obviously, and welcome her back to the Derby. Love Chelsea Green. I thought she was going to do it, though. Like I said, they teased them in the sort of Santina Morella spot, but I think she's going to do great stuff. I think there'll be okay. Sorry, it's because I just thought of an idea. I think she'll chastise. I was thinking for Mania, she'll chastise the management so much that they give her a match at WrestleMania 1-on-1, and it'll be against a mystery opponent, and then it'll be like a powerhouse or something.
Or either a debut or a call-up.
Yeah, 100%. A big debut.
Thing is, what do you do? Because Rhea Ripley's got that match at Mania with either, in my opinion, Lynch or Morgan. Yeah. You've got Sky versus Bayley. The whole of Damage Control is going to be involved in that, as well as potential allies for Bayley. Who can you put in that match? Unless Charlotte Flair comes back a lot quicker than we thought.
That'd be insane. No, but there's been talks about Camille from NWA.
That would be good.
Could bring her in.
I know this might be a long shot, but could they maybe sweet talk a one-off appearance for Karma Awesome Kong?
Maybe. You never know. I think she's retired, but you never know. Could work. That could be a shout, yeah.
Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace,
yeah. The problem is, though, with the new stuff in TNA, you don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't know. She did that Royal Rumble appearance, but I'd love to see her do like a one-off appearance at WrestleMania. I don't know, especially if TNA is going to be in the same area. I don't know what the plans are for TNA, but
I presume a lot of like talent are going to be there because they always do.
Definitely.
Because I mean, a lot of them will do independent shows during that week anyway. So
yeah, I mean, we'll talk. I mean, obviously there was that UFC bit on Raw this week as well.
Oh my god!
Are they going to do McGregor versus him at WrestleMania as well?
No, they won't do it. But you know what? You know what I would do?
What?
Contract signing.
That would be good. That would be a good little segment.
Cross promotion. Show to the fans. AEW's a thing. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
AEW. Oh, Jesus, not AEW. UFC and WWE, obviously, they're together now. They're not together at AEW, don't worry. That's,
No.
Yeah. UFC and WWE, obviously, same company now under TKO, so we'd love to see that happen. I think you do it. I think if they both want to do it, they can do it. Chana probably looks happy to do it. Great promo as well. I love that promo.
I thought Chandler did brilliantly with the promo with McGregor.
Yeah. I think if McGregor wants to do it, I think do a sort of WrestleMania contract signing.
Biggest stage of your parent company as part of the takeover.
Yeah.
It just seems like a really, especially when you look back at WrestleMania 31.
The one, yeah.
When you did the Rock Ronda segment, there was no match, but it was an opportunity to announce the WrestleMania crowd and bring the baddest woman on the freaking planet at the well, I think she still is one of the baddest on the planet, but at the time the baddest. As in like a 10-15 minute segment on one of the nights of WrestleMania. And you look what they did at WrestleMania last year with the host stuff with the Miz and Snoop Dogg, and they did like the fight on each night.
Yeah.
Even if it just filled a 5-10 minute slot on one of the nights to fill what could have been one of the host slots from last year, that would be brilliant. That would just fill a 10-15 minute slot.
Yeah, 100%. They're going to do stuff like that anyway, so why not? Build a bit of cross promotion. Show that, and you can. Yeah, the thing is, I don't think anything goes the other way because the difference is, I think, is a lot of WWE fans are UFC fans, but I don't think a lot of UFC fans are WWE fans.
Yes, they'll want to try and keep the product separate, but still part of the company, and just allow that cross promotion to attract audiences to different parts of the product.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Rhea and Jack's split interview. Interesting again. We all know I think Rhea's probably going to win this match, especially in her own country. But again, I'll say this straight. I don't care who wins the chamber. I think Rhea's going to have another year of the title, in my opinion, ready for Liv Morgan to take next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah, 100%. I think Rhea's a talent. You could see. I think the reaction I think she made events in the American Chamber. If I'm going to be honest. I think she made events to show.
Oh, you know what? When I look at the 4 matches, that actually isn't a bad guess, you know. It's either the men's chamber match or the women's title match will main event it.
Yeah, because I can see them doing it as women's title match in Australia, featuring 2 Australian-born wrestlers. They can put that as their big promo for it at the end of the show.
They have been building Rhea up a lot with it as well. They've been getting it to do loads of interviews and like she did like the stuff with Triple H that I saw on Twitter. Like she was like, "Oh, buy," I can't remember what it was, but it was like, "Buy this," and Triple H standing next to her like, "I would do what she says if I were you." So I thought that was pretty good
promo, because if you get someone that you know will draw in like a home country, for example, it works. They sold 50,000 tickets. To Perth, which what I've been told is near the other side of the country compared to, like, you know, your Melbournes and your. But the reason why I believe it's been used Perth rather than people. I know people were a bit annoyed about Melbourne and all. I know there was some talk about it. People be annoyed about it. The reason why it's in Perth and not Melbourne and that is, one, because Perth bought it. Because they do that a lot now. And 2, Taylor Swift.
Yeah. You know what? I think Melbourne's not out of the question for the near future, but I think
MCG's massive.
Yeah, I think this is Perth's year, and then Melbourne gets something next year.
Yeah. Or in a couple of years, yeah. But I can see them sort of every sort of 2-3 years, like piggyback different companies' shows. Like I wouldn't be surprised for countries, for example. So this year is in 2024, there's Australia, Germany, and France.
Yeah.
Next year might be UK, Maybe Japan.
That would be a good shout. That would be a really good shout.
And then I'm trying to think another European market that's quite big for wrestling.
You know what? They've done France this year. They're doing Germany this year. What about Italy?
Italy or Spain?
Or Spain, or even the Dutch.
Yeah.
The Dutch, you could do some good stuff there.
Yeah, because I think in Spain you could use the Bernabeu. You've got the new camp, because I believe that'll be ready by then.
Yeah.
Depending on where you want to go. Italy, you've obviously got the San Siro, the Juventus Stadium.
You could even, I mean, it might be a massive, massive job, but you could find an empty Colosseum and you could literally turn it into a stadium.
Yeah. Maybe. Good idea.
Or you could build a new stadium from scratch for a future pay-per-view 2 years down the line in Italy in the style of a Colosseum. You call it the Colosseum Stadium or whatever kind of sponsor you want to put on it, and you host an Italian-based pay-per-view there.
Yeah, maybe. But say, as akin to what we were saying about Nia Jax, she then appeared when there was a segment between all 6 chamber participants and cleaned them out.
Yeah, clean house.
Yeah, so interesting, obviously, that talk and all that. And funniest part for me was they were all fighting, and then you can just see in the corner, everyone's fighting. You can see Bianca and Lynch just stand next to each other, and then they've gone, and then just started helping each other. And then Nia came in and just actually knocked the ass of everyone. So yeah,
wallop.
But yeah, it was a decent show altogether.
Wow, Intercontinental Championship, the last one.
Yeah, obviously we talked into that, which is
Jimmy Uso.
Got screwed again.
That trash talking, that absolute scum.
Jay's cost Jimmy's cost Jay 3 title matches.
We all know where this is going now. Hashtag War of the Usos at WrestleMania.
Gonna be a fun one. Ooh, cannot wait.
The promo between those two brothers is going to be absolutely on fire. Oh man, this is Jimmy Uso. Like no disrespect to Jimmy Uso on a personal level, but he is just an absolute cheating little scumbag.
Yeah, but it shows he's a good character base though. Like
he's brilliant. He's brilliant at what he does. Like he's brilliant at hating and stuff like that, and making you hate. Like if Jimmy Uso's listening to this, I'm a yeet. I'm not a yo yeet. I'm a yeet.
Yeah, yeet all the time. Yeet. Come on,
yeet all the way. Yeah. No yeet can get in the back door.
Yeah, love that. By the way, best crowd reaction. They need to put it on the game. They need to put it on 2K24. I've seen the clip and he's not doing it.
I've seen the clip and it really infuriated me that the audience don't do it at the same time.
They got Daniel Bryan on like 2K like 15 to do it. You can do it now. Come on.
I mean, to be fair, the whole bloodline can suck it for all I care, but yeah. Like if I'm putting on my character head right now, the bloodline can suck it and stick it straight up the candy ass. But the work they're doing at the moment is unbelievable.
Yeah. Some of the best work I've seen in a while.
And again, this is probably arguably the biggest non-title match at WrestleMania this year, Jay versus Jimmy. Yeah.
By the way, just before we go on to NXT very quickly, because I know we've spent a lot of time on Raw and Smackdown. People saying that brother versus brother matches do not work. Here's a couple for you if you want to watch how bad. If you're saying that brother versus brother matches are bad. Cody versus Cody at Double or Nothing against Dustin. Owen versus Brett.
Yeet.
Penta versus Ray Phoenix. I don't know. I forgot which match it was, but there was one.
Yeet.
Trying to think of another one. There's so many really good brother versus brother matches.
Matt versus Jeff. Yeet.
Matt versus Jeff. Yeah. Impact Final Deletion. I loved.
WrestleMania 25 as well. Yeet.
Yeah, the Extreme Rules. Yeah, so I mean, they work. They work brilliantly. So, yeah, do it.
They work.
Yeah, we'll just, like I said, I just wanted to play that before we go on to NXT. So.
Oh, no, you said that perfectly. Like I said, I remember Matt versus Jeff at WrestleMania 25. I remember Matt's kind of last WWE gimmick before they came back, obviously years later. The kind of like arm in a cast, kind of like I'm doing this for me kind of gimmick. Like it was basically like I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna win this myself, and uses the cast and pretends like it's injured again and things like that. It was a weird one. I didn't know what was happening at the time with Matt in terms of plans, but yeah, it was a very weird one at the time. Right then, before we get on to Elimination Chamber predictions, we've got NXT. The Wolf Dogs are the new NXT Tag Team Champions. Of course, we know that Stand and Deliver is going to be a very interesting scenario. But the promo celebration, when Axiom and Fraser came in, Chase U came in, they made the number one contenders match through Ava, who got a massive pop, by the way.
If people do not know, when Fraser came out, it was a very similar promo, let's just say, to his trainer, Seth Rollins. If people know the meme, I don't know if people know the meme where it's like, no, this is not right. Yeah, it's that exact meme. But an idea I was thinking, if Rollins does lose on and take some time off, bring Fraser back when Rollins is back and call him the Black and Brave. Because that's the name of their academy. You know what? Bring someone up. Use Seth to sort of bring a big someone obviously he trusts up. So be interesting.
You know what? At some point, I would love to see a faction of Rollins, Lynch, and Fraser.
Yeah.
And then if you bring in a couple of other like people that Rollins is either trained or partnered with that are in WWE currently in terms of developmental or anything like that, and sort of build like a Rollins kind of, a bit like what Triple H did with the Authority, and kind of bringing some like the next gen superstars along with the boardroom, but have Rollins bring in some of his students as part of like a faction with him and his wife Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that Lynch and Rollins should do something else together. I think that the stuff they did with Corbin and Evans at Extreme Rules was spot on. For me, I'd love to see a Rollins Lynch like second version of that kind of storyline and bringing like this faction.
Yeah, and obviously, that match happened between Fraser and Axiom and Chase U. Chase U won, which is good because Chase U.
It gives them something. It gives them something else for their storyline.
And then obviously at the end, the OC or Gallows and Anderson, the Good Brothers. Let's just call them the Good Brothers because they're not the OC.
Too sweet.
Brilliant. Good to see them in NXT where they're going to get good crowd action. I think the reason why is because I think they're going to be a new faction.
You know what?
Gallows,
I wouldn't
Anderson, and those vignettes, Tamatonga. Old Bullet Club, back again.
Is it going to be Tamatonga though, or are we going with the new evil business Okada?
I think Okada's AW brand, to be honest.
No, but the things that they're saying in the vignettes just seem to be hinting towards Okada. I just don't see who else it could be, in my opinion.
I have a feeling it could be Tamatonga, but we just don't know. It's very interesting. I'm quite excited.
Is Tamatonga leaving? What's the situation currently?
He's leaving. I think he's had his final match, or he's going to have his final match.
Okay, fair enough. So it could be Tamatonga, to be fair.
Yeah, he dropped the never open weight strap a few weeks ago. I think he's having a couple of matches. So he's leaving New Japan. Obviously, I know people saying that some of the stuff is Japanese text. Yes, Tamatonga is not Japanese, but he's lived there for 10, 15 years. So
yeah.
But he's brilliant. I've watched his stuff since TNA, New Japan. He's a decorated guy, not just a single star, but as a tag team wrestler. He's one of the best in New Japan as a tag team wrestler. It was a mainstay of that Never Wave Break team for the last few years since he's left, before he left. So if it's him, brilliant. If it's Okada, even better. Not even better, but it'd be even better. But Tamatonga would be brilliant as well. One of the two. If it's either one of the two, brilliantly. So for both. But yeah, NXT is getting stronger and stronger. Even by the case of the opening match, Obafemi, monster.
Oh man, that guy wow. Just what he does is unbelievable. Can I just say first of all, before we go on to the stuff about Obafemi, the whole Tamatonga, I swear, was he in WWE developmental years ago? Like just for a little short stint? Because I swear I thought he was.
I don't know. I just really see him as a New Japan guy. So I
don't know. Because I thought I saw him in there at one point under a different name. I think it must have been it was somewhere between 2011 and 2013. I can't remember, but I swear I thought Tamatonga was in the developmental at WWE at one point or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I was thinking, Obafemi's a monster, and I think he even said himself. I think he said he wants to be WWE champion in 5 to 6 years. It's going to happen. Monster. The aura he has, by the way.
The match he had with Lexis King was brilliant.
Yeah, and his powerbomb as well.
Oh God, this guy! You know what? Even though I'd love to manage Obafemi, I don't think he needs me as a manager. I don't think he needs a manager. I think he's good on his own because you see with Jay with the yeet, you see with other people with the whoa and the oh.
Yeah, he has the
Obafemi's got the whoo.
Yeah.
Whoo. He is just on fire right now.
100%. And he's just going to keep going. I think he has a long title run with the North American title.
Yeah. 100%. Again, like Sami Zayn in NXT with the pop building and building and building and reaching that crescendo on the main roster. Again, with the stuff that the audience are doing with the who, it's just going to keep building and building and building. And it's going to reach this crescendo on the main roster.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, some other great matches as well. Is Jasmine Nix replacing Thea as best mates with JC Jane?
Oh, I think, yeah.
This sounds like a Jeremy Kyle storyline.
Yeah.
I could just picture the new version of Jeremy Kyle with the headline at the bottom. Why did you kick out my best friend? Why did you tear away my best friend? I thought we were best friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's good. I think it's a good storyline. I think it's working at the moment with the whole thing of Riley Osborne. So I'll be interested to see what happens from there. Some of the other stuff, obviously.
Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, Roxanne, who seems maybe have a cross-faced finisher, which is good.
We were thinking it was going to be we were thinking, weren't it? It was going to be either a more ruthless face or a heel turn. I think both of us are in agreement now. It's going to be a heel turn.
She needs that bit more of a character, like a heel character. So I think
we both agree now it's a heel turn this week.
Yeah. And I love at the start where I love at the end, which we are going to talk about, obviously, with the main event. I'm just going to say, first off, it's been confirmed that Shotzi has a torn ACL, which
7 months, isn't it?
7 to 9 months injury. Just when she was sort of getting up with obviously the chamber and obviously this title shot. So
I think, you know what, I think they're going to plan to do some stuff in NXT as well.
So I'm first off, I hope you're doing well. I hope the surgery went well, Shotzi, and hope you have a speedy recovery, and hope to see you back soon. But obviously that injury happened in NXT after a DDT to the outside. So Ava opens an open challenge for the NXT Women's title, which answered by Lash Legend.
Fair play to Lash Legend for doing 2 matches in one night. 100%.
Because didn't she? Who did she? She was beat.
She was beaten by Kalani Grace earlier in the night.
Jordan. Yeah, Jordan, wasn't it?
Oh, Kalani Jordan. Sorry.
Yeah. So she came out. Good match. Funniest part was when Roxanne. Well, it looked like a vignette of Roxanne getting out of the shower. And then seeing that there was an open challenge for the title, and you can just see her she's snapping. Oh, you can see her snapping next week.
You know what? This kind of gives me vibes of like AJ Lee Black Widow.
Yeah, Well, I mean, she's literally looked up to AJ Lee so much as a kid, so I can see it sort of being in how she's going to do it.
Her twist on that version. Like, it's going to be compared to that version, but it's going to be her version of it and her twist on it.
100%.
But yeah, fair play to Legend for going out there twice in one night and doing 2 matches. Fair play to her. And I think she was originally part of the triple threat anyway, so fair play to her for doing 3 matches technically in one night.
Yeah.
Like, pretty good. Like I said, fair play to her. Obviously, best wishes of course go to Shotzi, and hopefully she's back as soon as possible. And we hope she's doing well, of course. Like I said, fair play to Legend. Fair play.
Yeah, because I mean, it's that match is definitely calling the fly. Obviously, with an injury like that, you don't expect it, so you're not planning on it. So respect to her for doing it. Like, to call a match that shows also shows how much respect and trust that Shawn Michaels has on Legend.
100 million%. Only a couple more things there with NXT. A brutal finish to the Jensen Briggs match. I thought that was a brutal finish with the bloody mouth as well. Good match.
Yeah, 100%. I think they're both going to be good stars in the future. I see Briggs, going on. I can see both of them doing really well.
What kind of gimmicks could you see him do though? Because I think opportunities.
I think Briggs probably goes to more of a JBL character.
That could be good.
Jensen, I think, don't know yet, because obviously he got
Jensen. You know what? You know what? This might be a bit of a throwback. Some of you who are watching this might be younger and may not realize who. People may not realize who this is, but definitely the older fans who watch this will know who he is. Jensen could do a really good modern take on an absolute brute outlaw who gives me vibes of Stan the Lariat Hansen back in the day. The guy who would just absolutely go hammer and tongue on everyone, like an absolute brutal, out there outlaw, and kind of adapt that kind of Stan Lanson type persona in a modern, psychotic outlaw way. I just think either one of them could do that. I think Briggs or Jensen could do that.
Yeah, 100%. I think both can work either way in either character. They're very versatile. And all 3 from that sort of group, Fallon's doing some great stuff at the moment. So, yeah, all brilliant. And obviously, great NXT show as always. NXT's become my favourite 2 hours of watching a week. So,
yeah. And basically, also, guys, for those of you who don't know who Stan Larry Hansen is, go and watch what he's done in the past and what his career was back in the day. And go and watch his Hall of Fame speech as well, because he's had an illustrious career. We'd love to get him on the show at some point, with him being one of the veterans of the business. So yeah, that's a call out to Stan the Lariat Hansen. But yeah, the final big thing from NXT to sort of sum up what was a great show was that promo involving Mello.
Oh, 100%. Again, the barbershop promo.
So are we looking at Mello versus Dragunov at Roadblock? I think Roadblock's before Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
And then an interference from Trick keeps Ilya the title, and Mello versus Trick at Stand and Deliver, and then Ilya's next title match at Stand and Deliver.
I think it'll be Trick versus Mello, and I think it will be unsanctioned.
Do they put the title on that match?
No.
Is Ilya's time as champion done? And
doesn't need the title though. Doesn't need the title.
I don't think it does.
Trick
but
Mello does not need the title. I think it main event doesn't need the title.
Who would main event Stand and Deliver?
I think you do a showcase match. I think he loses it. Obviously, I think he goes up to the main roster. But there's so much talent in NXT. I could see it going to Axiom. Maybe if you push him a bit more.
You could incorporate the Dijak Gacy feud into it, but then again, you could do that as a separate match.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think he needs a title because I think they will go up. So but they will find someone. They always do.
Yeah, it's either going to be Ilya gets a different opponent stand deliver, or he gets promoted to the main roster just in time for WrestleMania or post WrestleMania, and you have Trick versus Mello for the title. I just think it's going to go one of those two ways.
Yeah, 100%.
Right then, just to finish off then this week, we've got our Elimination Chamber predictions. Here we go.
Yeah.
So first of all, then we'll predict the two chamber matches sort of afterwards. We're going to sort of focus first on the two sort of normal matches. Judgment Day versus what seems to be known as the New Catch Republic, the NCR, Bate and Dunn. Story-wise, who do we think's winning this? I think we have a pretty good guess, but who do we want to win this as well?
Yeah, Judgment Day, I think you're dead sets. I love New Catch Republic or British Strong Style. Brilliant stalwarts of the British independent scene, obviously come to do some brilliant things here in WWE, and would love to see them win the titles as someone who's been watching them for years. But storyline wise and going into Mania, it's going to be Judgment Day.
I would probably agree with that. I think it's going to be Judgment Day, and then it's going to be Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day at Mania. That's on my card anyway. And you know what? And I've just had an idea about the New Catch Republic, because I think there's a possibility to work him here as a faction. You know who I would think would be a good leader of the New Catch Republic?
Sheamus?
Ilya Dragunov.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Dragunov, Dunn, and Bate, three technical savages, bruisers, and absolute war machines.
That's what I mean. That's probably why they got rid of the British Strong Style name, because maybe it's to add a different member. Dragunov, maybe.
New Catch Republic. New as in the future.
Yeah.
Catch as in savages who will just prey upon you and will catch
the
you
old British Catch style as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so import that British into import that British into the faction, but also Catch as in predator on prey.
Yeah.
And Republic as in order, a union, an alliance. Just something about that just screams a mix of Europe and UK. And I think we're talking new UK, not old UK. And you know what? This is no disrespect to Sheamus, because I think Sheamus will come back and do fantastic work. But I think for Sheamus, he goes on one big last solo run at some point. I don't know when it's going to be, but he does that last kind of swan song solo run.
Yeah.
I think
the RC title, hopefully.
Exactly. I think the faction would be much better if it's Dragunov, Dunn, and Bate. And the good thing about those three is they can all shine as individual superstars as well as a unit. It's not going to be a faction where it's going to be like one person leads and the rest of the lackeys doing the dirty work. It's going to be like Imperium in a way. Imperium's very
I'd say I'm going to go with it's a bit like Blackpool Combat Club in AEW. Where
there we go.
They're good as a pack. They're good as single stars, but even better as a pack. And they trust themselves and their teammates that they can do the business. Also, a bit like Quarter Catch Crew in NXT as well.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to make this early prediction here. You know what would be good for War Games this year?
Go on.
3-on-3 Imperium versus NCR.
Maybe, and you could also add like a couple of others as well if you want to make it 4-on-4, 5-on-5.
Could do.
Yeah. If TNA and the partnership is continuing, Trek 7.
There we go. We're thinking here. We're booking like real bookers. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax for the Women's World Championship. Again, this is probably an easy one. Who are we going with?
Rhea Ripley. I mean,
absolutely.
It's a home country. I know Nia was born in Australia, but she's Hawaiian.
It's got to be Ripley.
But it's Ripley. It's going to be the pop when she comes out. It's going to be absolutely insane.
It's going to be like a face. She's going to be the face in this match.
They've been building it like she's a face. That's the thing.
That's why I think
she's the face in the match.
Whether it happens before Dominic Mysterio or after, I think it probably happens before, to be fair. But in fact, no, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens after. I think the Ripley face turn is officially coming this year.
Yeah, 100%. Cannot wait for it as well.
What's the WrestleMania plan for Nia Jax? Are they going to do a women's WrestleMania Battle Royal and she's just going to dominate the field and get eliminated last?
Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill.
they're going to save Bianca Belair for next year WrestleMania. You know what? WrestleMania, to be fair though, Bianca Belair did do the WrestleMania press conference a couple of weeks ago, and she did talk about the WrestleMania plans for her.
Yeah.
They start teasing that with a month to go with Belair versus Cargill.
I don't think they do that. I think they do Jade, and she does something absolutely amazing, powerful.
But what did they do with Belair for this year's WrestleMania?
Don't know, but they'll do something with her because they always do. I don't know, but there'll be something with her.
Surely.
I just don't think it's time because I think it's at a point where Belair can't really get another loss, but Jade can't lose either.
True, very true.
Where Nia's someone who can take a loss and still look strong.
I just don't know who you put Belair in the ring with, unless you do like a women's showcase match on one of the nights.
Maybe.
I don't know. It could be one of those. Right then, the chambers. We have, first of all, the women's Elimination Chamber. The winner faces Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40. We have the man, big time, Becky Lynch. The EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. The Revenge Tour leader, Liv Morgan, you only live once. The center of the universe, Tiffany Stratton. The glowing Naomi. And the powerhouse, Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Who, first of all then, final three. I'm going with Lynch, Morgan, and Stratton.
Yeah, 100%. We talked about this earlier. I think Lynch wins. To set up this rivalry they've been building.
You know what? I'm going to go with more. I'm going to upset the apple cart here and go with Morgan.
Yeah, I think it'll be a toss between Ripley and Lynch. Sorry, Lynch and Morgan. They've just been building to Lynch. That I think it's going to happen.
I know for a fact my prediction is going to be wrong. I know for a fact I'm going to get it wrong. but I just want Morgan so badly.
Yeah, Morgan's brilliant. Oh, the thing that happened yesterday. You saw it on the 2K account with Morgan. So they put out like a entrance that they've been doing recently.
Oh, I've seen they put out her entrance, but I've not seen it yet.
Yeah, basically they put out a caption called "The Queen of Extreme," and then I forgot the person's name, but it was someone who was in ECW. She apparently trademarks it, so I don't know. She's obviously in the right. So they basically said, "Do you want me to call my lawyers?" Because apparently she trademarks it. She probably does. I don't know. I think she does. I haven't checked it because
interesting.
Yeah. So 2K fucked up a little bit there. So they took it down and put a new Twitter thing out. But yeah, I think Liv will do brilliantly, and I think there'll be a big match for at Mania. Don't know who against yet, but we'll see what comes out in the next couple of weeks.
You know what? I think if they're going to do a women's showcase match, I think they put her in that. I want Liv Morgan to win it, but I just know in my heart of hearts it's going to be Becky Lynch this year. And again, we go across with that idea that we said at the start of the show as well. I think it's going to be Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. Ripley retains the title for another year, and then Morgan wins the Rumble next year and takes it at WrestleMania 41.
100%.
In the Twin Cities as well. I think that's a rumored location for WrestleMania next year. I think it's in Minnesota, I think it is, or Pennsylvania. I might be wrong.
I think it's Minnesota because I think it's at the Vikings Stadium. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Minnesota. So
I think SummerSlam's supposed to be in Cleveland. So.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah. That's a pretty good site.
And at that point, if it's in Cleveland, please have Johnny Gargano win the tag titles in Cleveland. Please and thank you.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Right then, the final chamber match, the final match on the card. We don't know if it's going to main event yet. We won't know until Saturday, but there we go. The men's Elimination Chamber winner faces Seth freaking Rollins at WrestleMania 40. The bringer of broken dreams, the man who leads the future of this company, Drew McIntyre. We're still with you, Drew. The Apex Predator, Randy Orton, brilliant since he's come back. The almighty Bobby Lashley. L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
The prize fighter, Kevin Owens, and the Maverick, the social media star, and KSI's BFF, Logan Paul.
US champion as well. Big old
United
US
States
champ.
champion.
Yeah.
You've got a good mix of styles in this match. Drew McIntyre, powerhouse. Orton, a veteran. Lashley, a veteran powerhouse. LA Knight is the showman, but has the amazing freak ability as an athlete. Kevin Owens is the full-on, psychotic, indie star that's made this big career in WWE, who's just become an absolute prize fighter. And Logan Paul is just a freak athlete anyway, who's the newest kid on the block. I mean, you've got a good mix of styles here. Again, we'll go final three first. Who are you going to go first for your final three?
McIntyre, Knight, and Owens.
I'm going to switch it up. I'm going McIntyre, Knight, and Orton.
Yeah. But what I think is Owens then gets... it was top three. Paul just got eliminated. Then what I said earlier with him being forced out. Then I'm going to go... But my winner is going to be Drew McIntyre. He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
I'm going with the same as well. You know what? I also wouldn't be surprised if LA Knight got cost by AJ Styles.
Yeah, that's another idea. I don't know if he's been flown to Australia yet, but, probably.
They could be keeping it under wraps, though.
Yeah, hopefully.
That'd be a nice surprise. I think that'd be a good thing to keep it under wraps. I don't think you need everything being revealing in the public eye. I think you can keep that. You can keep that fly under. Have him fly like on the day of Elimination Chamber, so there's no media focused at the airport. Everyone's focused at the stadium.
100%.
But yeah, for me personally, how I think it's going to go, I think it's going to be Owens and Paul starting. I think we're probably both agreed on that.
Yeah.
I think Owens gets eliminated by Logan Paul, either by distraction or a sneaky low blow or a brass knuckles shot through the brass knuckles get thrown through the cage by Jeff or Phil or whoever he calls Logan Paul's lackeys at the minute, Steve, Phil, Trish. You throw the brass knuckles through the steel cage because there is a gap there you can throw it through. I definitely know for sure there's a gap you can throw it through with the Elimination Chamber. He distracts the referee, brass knuckles, Owens gets eliminated. And then Owens distracts Logan Paul. He gets eliminated by Bobby Lashley, who comes in next. Then I think LA Knight comes in, then Orton, then McIntyre, and then we're probably looking here at Lashley getting eliminated. I would say the right thing to do is by McIntyre because they had that little feud going on. I think that'd be one up on McIntyre. Then, in my opinion, I think it will be LA Knight eliminated by Orton, and then Orton eliminated by McIntyre.
Good idea. I just think it'll be a bit more where they'll do Logan a bit more later in the match, I think. But yeah, 100%.
Maybe. In terms of LA Knight being eliminated, I think LA Knight will be eliminated by Orton, but I think Styles will either land the shot and Orton just pins, or Styles distracts him and lets Orton do the RKO.
Oh, yeah.
Because you still want Orton looking strong in terms of eliminating opponents. So you could do the RKO after distraction by Styles, which sets up Knight Styles Mania. Yeah. Or you could do Orton just takes the 1, 2, 3 after a Styles clash or a phenomenal forearm.
Yeah. Or even if Paul's still in the match, I can see a Logan Paul doing that.
Maybe. I think Paul eliminating LA Knight would be a big one. I think that'd be a big elimination for Logan Paul. I can
see it being one of those where Styles hits something and then
Logan Paul takes the cowardly pin. Yeah. I think either way, I think we're going to have a huge spot from Logan Paul. It's somewhere in the match. 100%. 100%. In terms of the women's chamber, I mean, looking at who I think could do a good spot, I think you could see a Tiffany Stratton moonsault off the top of the pod. You could also see something with Liv Morgan involved at the top of the pod. You can also see Naomi involved at the top of the pod, and you can also see something powerhousey by Rodriguez.
Oh, I can see someone get thrown through a pod.
In both matches or either match?
Women's.
You know what? I think it would go really down well with Lynch if she goes through the pod and still ends up winning.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it happens in both matches, I think if Logan Paul distracts Kevin Owens and gets him eliminated, I think Owens will put Paul through the pod after he gets eliminated.
Maybe. Yeah, good idea.
We never know. We never know. Right then, that is it for this episode of the WWE show. It's been a fun-packed week. We've got the Chamber coming. Obviously, we've got Smackdown on the pre-taping on Friday, which obviously you're watching this on the Friday before Smackdown starts. So we're obviously having to upload this on the day after we're supposed to be doing it. But so we've got Smackdown tonight as you're watching this. Obviously, the next day as we're recording this. Then we have the Chamber. I'll be watching that in the morning as I'm walking towards the Rover Stadium, finding some Wi-Fi in the Bellevue bar and then watching that and taking some notes. We also have, let's have a look. We've also got Raw and NXT. And of course, we're back with the WWE show. But before the next WWE show, we've got some extra WWE shows because we're going to have some little WWE shows. We're going to have an Elimination Chamber review on the Sunday. We're also going to have our WrestleMania 40 card predictions on the Monday. So we decided to do, me and Owen are going to do separate WrestleMania 40 cards. We're going to have all the matches, title and non-title, and we're going to create our night ones and night twos. I'm going to do the graphics for them as well. So I'm going to have all the superstars on transparent files. I'm going to have WrestleMania backgrounds. I'm going to do WrestleMania graphics. So Chall's card, Owen's card, or Owen's predictions, Chall's predictions. And we're going to have the matches and why we think they're going to happen. So it's going to be a detailed one, that one. So stay tuned for that one. I'm really excited about this one, Owen, because like I said, I've got all my notes already for what I want. There's still some few things I need to do. The hardest thing for me at the minute is deciding what night to put each one on. That's the hardest.
Yeah, that's going to be the hard one. I think making the matches, how much is going to be, how many are going to be in each card, we'll decide obviously off screen. But that's going to be hard. But what nights? Because it's got to be not just about that, about like what matches, but about the pacing. Because you're not going to put all the bit. It's just about the pacing of the card as well. So be interesting.
Yeah. Well, how are you doing so far in terms of your predictions for WrestleMania?
I'm doing all right. I think there's a few in my mind. I've not put them down to paper yet, but obviously there's a few set in stone that's already been done. There's a few that in my mind I know what's going to happen. I think I would love to put in, so I'll be interested to see.
Yeah, these cards are going to be like our predictions, like what we want to happen and stuff like that, and where we think the current programming is leading towards, in our opinion. We could be wrong. We could be wrong with a couple of these, but that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there a few that we've not really talked about much yet in terms of matches that you've got in mind for WrestleMania?
No, but I'm going to keep that a surprise because you're gonna have to watch it if you're gonna know what stuff I'm hopefully planning on.
I love it. Right then, guys, stay tuned for a couple of mini WWE shows coming up with the Elimination Chamber review and the WrestleMania 40 card predictions, along with next week's full episode of the WWE show. But for now, guys, he's been Owen. Not wearing a wrestling shirt today, unfortunately.
No.
What have you got on actually? What have you got on?
It's like a shirt from, I think it's like Norway or
All right.
In fact, put something on because a bit of a rush today, man. Been a bit busy day, so. But it's been good to come on here, talk about what's been a good week again, and obviously this weekend's going to be fun.
Yep, it's going to be very interesting indeed. And I am the CHALL, and for now, guys, The Rock, stick it straight up your candy arse. Ta-ra for now.